Hi, friends. How are we? Happy Thursday. We're thriving. Sort of, because I was supposed to have this up probably a half an hour ago. Um, so it's kind of a little bit of a different thrive today. We're doing it more video diary style, I guess. I just did not want to record on Sunday on my numbers because it's like this long and kind of boring probably for you all. So we're just going to talk a little bit about my trip. And the experiences I have here. One of the first adventures that we went on was going to, well, Buc-ee's actually, but that's besides the point. Um, we like Buc-ee's. Like, it's like the store part of Cracker Barrel meets AM PM or like a 7-Eleven kind of thing, and they moosh together. But there they make like fresh sandwiches and fresh fudge and homemade jerky. Well, not homemade jerky, but jerky. Like, it's just really big, and it can kind of be overwhelming a little bit, but it's kind of fun. Um, the homemade jerky, again, it's store, but is super good, but expensive. But every season they come out with a coloring book, and that's why I went. And I just think it's funny because they're cute. They're like little, it's adorable. And so we got that. Oh, it got bent. Man. But we like that, and so we got that. And then I like their candied nuts, so I got candied nuts. We also went to Costco and Sam's Club here because my mom loves that, and it's one way to get our steps in. Because, as you know, like in Arizona, we walk around the house just to get our steps in. But my brother's house, the walkable areas is a lot smaller than the walkable areas at my house. Um, so like where if I do one lap around my house at home, it's 300 steps. But if I do one lap around the house here, it's only 100 steps. So it just takes a bit longer. So it's easier to go out and do it. And um, the Sam's Clubs and Costco's always have the same things, but Mom swears they have different things. So it's mostly like the collared shirts that are different. Um, but then the first like big thing that we did, we went to Disney World. Not last time I was here, but the time before that, we went with my brother and my nieces, and we did 2 days back to back, and we did Magic Kingdom and Epcot. And it was about 2 years ago. And I like the Magic Kingdom is really nice. If you've been to Disneyland, it's like Disneyland's younger sibling, almost in a sense. That it has a lot of the same similarities. You know they're the same family, but things are a little differently. So like it's not bad. It's just a little different. I personally still prefer Disneyland, but of course, I have more connections with that. Where I think people here, like in Florida, who mostly go to Disney World and Magic Kingdom, would prefer that over Disneyland. It's just personal preference. Epcot, Epcot was fun when we went, but I did have one of the most like I don't get embarrassed easily, but that was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life is at that Epcot, um, just with a ride. And there aren't like a whole ton of rides there, but it is fun to go to like the different culture places. Um, but for me, I feel like that was a really expensive place to go to get culture when you could maybe like find like a Chinatown or something and kind of get the same culture immersion for free. But I don't know. It like it's again, it's one that I wouldn't necessarily spend like a full day there just because there weren't that many rides. Like Magic Kingdom, you could spend a full day, no problem. There's just so much to do. Where Epcot, I don't feel like there's as much. Um, and again, I don't think I went during a festival at all. So, but for this year, we decided we wanted to hit the two other parks that are at Disney World, and that is Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. I wanted to say Universal, and that's not it at all. So the first one we did was Animal Kingdom, and I gotta be honest, I was so excited for this because I was like, it's gonna be like a zoo and an amusement park. It's gonna be awesome. Um, and it was like I liked it. There's a ton of walking in that because it's kind of like a weird where Disneyland almost has like a circular shape to it. So you can start in one corner and go all the way around. This one had more like of a W or J kind of shape to it. Um, but it was still fun. The first one ride we went on was like the safari one. Well, I guess technically it was the second because there was a train that went to like a petting zoo area, and then you had to get back on the train to leave the petting zoo area. Like it's a very weird setup, but the safari one was fun. I love animals and I like seeing them like that. And they're not necessarily, they're in cages, but they're not in cages. Like the herbivore animals are free to walk around and stuff, but there were sections that they weren't supposed to leave because it was the carnivore sections after that. So, and they don't have like walls up for that. They have like thingies. And like every so often we had to stop and couldn't go because there was an animal on the road. It was kind of fun. And at that park they also had Everest Expedition or something like that. It's their ride, and it's kind of like Big Thunder Mountain meets meets the Matterhorn, but it had the speed of Space Mountain. It's kind of weird. It goes backwards for a little bit, and like my niece and I get motion sickness, which one of my nieces went with us on this day, and so my mom sat out and she got a pretzel and we went on that ride and it was fun. There were a couple parts where I was like, oh my gosh, and I thought I was gonna be sick, but like not throw up sick. I thought I was gonna get dizzy. But it was fun. The pretzel was mid. Then we went to like the dinosaur area, which they're actually kind of closing down, which is a little sad. Um, but they're updating it to be like the Latin Americas or the Mid Americas, or I can't remember the exact wording that they had. Tropical Americas, I think is what they did. So they're gonna put in like Encanto and Coco in there, and but we did the dinosaur ride, which is like an dinosaur version of Indiana Jones. And my niece was not excited for it. She thought it was super cheesy, and she's like, it's so dumb, but it's like the classic Disney automatons for dinosaurs. And it's just I thought it was cute, and the floor plan was a lot like Indiana Jones. And then we went over to like the Avatar area, and they have this new ride there that I don't remember the name of it as, that I actually had to test if I could fit in there, and they actually had test seats. And they couldn't get my calves to lock in because I got big calves, and like when they finally locked in, like I was on my very tippy toes. So maybe it was my legs that were too short. I don't know. But like I couldn't go on that. So we went on one that was like the Navi River or something or other. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean, but Avatar. But there weren't any like people animatronics of the Navi people. And that was kind of cool. That was really all there was for us to do there. So again, it was not a park. That was a full day park. But that park opens an hour or two before all the other parks and closes several hours before the other parks. And they don't do fireworks shows, and they don't do like balloon sales because they want to keep the animals safe and not scare them. After that, we ate some of these noodles. Those noodles were amazing. Best thing I've eaten on this whole trip. So good. And then we were going to do the animal ride again and then go home, but we stopped and we ended up watching The Lion King. The Lion King presentation, that was kind of fun. We ended up having to leave because of my mobility struggles. My hips started locking up, and so my steps, instead of being like a normal step, became very itty bitty steps and very painful, which happens on days that I spend a lot of time walking, and that's mostly because we were in line for 45 minutes for the safari ride, which apparently is not a normal thing for that ride. But we were standing stationary for so long, and my body wasn't used to that. Because I prepared it for all the walking, but I didn't prepare it for the standing and the slow walking. Like, I always had a purpose when I was walking. So that was that day, and like we came home and we had a couple days to like rest and recover. Like we did a Costco day in between there, and then we went back, just Mom and I, and we did Hollywood Studios that day. And that day, that park has quite a few more attractions as in rides, but they're not rides that either mom or I could really handle. We're not really roller coaster people. So we did Toy Story Mania, and that was the only ride we went on. It was an extremely crowded day. It had been raining the entire like week and a day that we had been here. And like this was the first day that it was sunny. Like it was supposed to rain again, but it didn't. And it was really hot, and so there were a lot of people, and we just were not really enjoying that as much. We mostly just ate and watched shows, which we like the shows. So we saw this the Beauty and the Beast show, which is really cool. If you want to like check that out, Bria.Snyder, we know her as Bria Explores Budgeting. Her channel, for her travel channel, actually has it on there, so you can experience without that. But what made that such a memorable experience for me was not necessarily the play itself. It's that we were worried about my body locking up on me again, so I did rent a scooter, which I wasn't happy about, because it was an unexpected expense. Those scooters are expensive to rent, but and we didn't end up needing it all that much, because we did just anyway. But we got the handicap seating, and in front of us there was this family. It was a mom and dad, a girl who was a teen and was on her phone all the time doing like TikTok dances, which I found hilarious. And then her mom got super annoyed. But then they also had this son who is special needs. I couldn't tell if it was... I'm not diagnosing, but if from what I gathered, it was a cross between like muscular dystrophy, like I can't remember what it's called, where the body muscles don't work. Like he couldn't get out of his chair, and maybe some autism, and maybe just some other mental delays as well. But he was so excited to see this, and he was so happy to be there, and he loved the play, and he loved the characters, and he was trying to get all of their attentions and waving and saying hi to all of them, especially Belle. And was just so excited, and he was just so happy and waving at her so much. And it kind of like sitting there, I'm like, I feel so bad for this kid because she can't break character to say hi. But you could tell that she kind of wanted to, and you could tell that it would make his day. And so when they did final curtain call and she came out and waved to everybody and bowed and looked at him directly and waved her hand at him. And then as the curtain came down, she bent down and blew him a kiss. And it was just the cutest thing. And like my mom started tearing up, and you could tell it made his day. He lit up, and that was just a pure Disney magic moment, and it was just beautiful. And then to make it even better, a cast member came out and was like, hi, to this family. They were sitting right in front of us. It's like, hi, so Belle has a request that you guys stay behind, and she would love to meet you guys. So instead of them being like, we want to meet her, she wanted to meet them. And it was just, my mom started bawling. And so as I struggled to get down the steps, because I was still having some issues, she went over and she talked to this mom, and because she and I both work in special education. And so she's like, your son made this experience. Like, he made my trip. Like, those are the moments that we love Disney so much for. Like, I'm sure they have horrible moments and whatever, but this was just a beautiful moment and a beautiful magic that we were just able to witness. And the lady was like, oh, and my mom was crying my mom cries every time she tells this story still. And it's been a week since it's happened. And, she loved it so much that when she was talking to the mom started like welling up, and they both hugged each other. It was a beautiful moment. And then after that, we went to the new Villain show. If you live in Florida, go watch that one. That one was really good. It was like really good music. It was a mix of like screen and live performances, which is so entertaining. Like, there were villains on screens that were like pre-recorded, but there was like villains on the stage, and the music was so good. So good. Like, we even looked up one of the songs afterwards and added it to a playlist. It was good. Um, and then we wanted to watch The Little Mermaid play, but every time we would go there, it was sold out and filled. So we were like, eh. So we watched a Walt Disney documentary instead, which was really good. And then we went and ate. And then Mom was getting really worried about traffic, so we left. But it was such a good experience. I would love to go to that park again on a rainy day. Like Mom and I love Disney in the rain, just because it kind of clears out some people. But we met some really cool people at that one. We met that family, and we met another family on like a family reunion that we were chatting with. After we did go to Disney discount stores, the only souvenir that we got at Disney was this. It's called a sipper. So you take the head off, which is disturbing to watch, and you put a drink in. So this is the only one thing we bought at the Disney park besides food. And this actually have a Mickey Mummy popcorn thing that this matches really well. So we're very happy with that. But they have outlet stores here called the Disney Character Warehouse. And that's where we go to get souvenirs for other people. It's a little bit cheaper. It's still Disney park stuff. It's just a little bit cheaper. But what I got for me was this Princess Tiana 10 bank. And then like there's a spot to write your own dream on the side. Like, I don't know how much this was originally. It doesn't say. But I only paid $5 for this. And it comes with chocolate coins inside, which I might give to the boys at home. So, but I think it's going to be a fun way to save coin. And then, my mom got a puzzle. And this originally was $30, and we got it for $7. And then we got a Christmas present, which I'm not going to show you because even though my brother does not watch this channel, we don't want to get it out. We're hoping to wrapping it. There's one more other part to it that we want to get, wrapping it and leaving it here. And so those were like our 2 Disney days. And then not yesterday, but the day before, so on Tuesday, we went to St. Augustine's, like I said in yesterday's video. That is the first city in the U.S. Like, approved city in the U.S. And one of the reasons why I enjoy learning about other cultures so much, especially when I watch like Korean dramas or even Chinese dramas, and is they had like, you can see their history still in a lot of the things they do, and we don't really have that here in the U.S. And so I was excited to go and see all of that. And then we first stopped at Fort Mose, which I have my phone in my pocket, was like a fort there that was like, there's a whole history there. And it was really cool, and it was just really pretty. It was not like wildly popular. I don't know. My mom's the one that took all the pictures. Like there was other people there, but it was not like crawling with people like most history places would do. And it just kind of walks out of here, and you can see where more of the fort was, and then it's not there anymore because of decay and whatnot. But they're like, most of the history of this town is under all these waters, and that was kind of a cool thing. And then we went to go to the visitor center, and it was closed. Apparently it's closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which is weird. So then we went to the St. Augustine Fort, which is closed because it's a government building, and because of the shutdown here in the U.S., they shut that down. But we went down the streets and stuff, and that was a really kind of cool, interesting experience because you could tell the history is there, but it very much has been commercialized and capped out and selling knick-knacky stuff. But that also plays up on the history. So, like, there's a lot of pirate history there, which kind of surprises me because, I mean, it's close to islands, so I guess it makes sense. But, like, I don't know Floridian history well enough to know about the history of pirates here. But like there was a huge pirate theme, and Florida was owned by Spain for a long time, so there's a lot of Spanish themes there as well. And we went into this one Spanish bakery that had some really cool stuff. That's where we had lunch that day. And then as we walked down, there was a Greek Orthodox shrine, for St. Polios. Photios. Photios. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it was really pretty. Like, I didn't take any pictures in there because I personally don't want to disrespect anyone's religious beliefs, even though I'm not a Greek Orthodox. I didn't want to take pictures in there, but it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. They have the, like, it's hard to explain. Like, I 100% would go back there and check that out just for that. But there was also, again, it was a weird shape though, because you go in the doors here and you go down, and then there's the doors you enter and then you go up, and then there's like a gift shop and the exit up here. So that was kind of weird. But like there was some old architecture down here with paintings and murals, and then there's candles you could light. They did want you to donate for the candle you used, obviously. And then just like different artifacts. And then on the wall on this side, there was the Lord's Prayer in Greek with the little translation underneath it. And then there was the gift shop that had just a bunch of stuff from like Greece and nativities and things like that. It was gorgeous. My mom bought some olive oil soap from there and postcards. It's the only place we found that sells postcards. And then we went a little ways further, and then there's this shop called Bokanox, something. It was a piratey themed shop, and it had a bunch of games. It had some shut the boxes in there and stuff like that. And it was really cool. It's also a pottery shop, so there's some clay and things. And I did buy something there, and I'm not going to be able to show it to you real well because it's a chest and you have to build it. And I am not going to do that. But I'm going to figure out a way to play savings games with this. But what it is you roll a dice, and then if you roll a 6, it goes in here, and then it goes into like the bank. And then if you roll a 3, you put it here, and then like that. And then if you run out of spaces, you lose. And it's a take turns game. It seems really kind of fun. I'm not doing a good job at explaining it. But it was made by a guy here in Florida. I should have done a video. It is technically, I think, considered a 2-person game. It's called Pirate Splendor. But I'm going to figure out how to make it a solo person game and use it to save money. So, you will see it in videos. But I guess the guy, this is his card. And I guess he does have a YouTube, so I'm going to have to try to look him up. So, yeah, it's like you want to get rid of all the coins. It seems like a shut the box, but not shut the box. I don't know. It's weird. He says that it's, the guy there that was explaining it to us says that it's really good to learn risk assessment for children. I don't know. But we went there. That was fun. I did get wildly sunburnt, but it's calmed down a lot. I tend to lose my sunburns really fast, and then I'll peel, and then I'll be white again. Fluorescently. But yeah, then yesterday we went to a place called BJ's, which I've never heard of them before. Like, I've heard of the restaurant. It's not a restaurant. It's like a Sam's Club and a Costco. But there's a lot more variety of choices of things there, which was really cool. We got some poopery there because it was a really good price. This was $15. Not bad. Because considering these are like $8 a piece by themselves, and it came with like 2 travel ones. Now, if only I can get the people who I bought it with the intent of them using to actually use it at home, that would be fantastic. And then on the way home, we went by this place, Kilswins? I don't know. Kilwins? We saw them down in St. Augustine, and I have a thing for caramel apples, and so we stopped there. Plus, in St. Augustine, they sold gummy alligators, and we promised Ethan we'd bring him home an alligator. And so we stopped by and we got gummy alligators for the boys. And then they also had these toasted coconut. Jiffy, the marshmallow people, used to sell toasted coconut marshmallows. And then they stopped. And now I can't find them anywhere. And I've been wanting them. These were probably more expensive than what I should have spent on them. But honestly, I personally didn't spend a whole lot because my mom wouldn't let me pay her back for all the stuff at Disneyland because we split all of our foods and stuff. So, um, but yeah, I'm excited for those. And then caramel apples, of course. Their caramel is amazing, honestly. I would recommend it. Um, but while I'm here, also some other like just random weird things that have never happened to me before in my life have happened here. Um, like there's this brand of protein powder or protein shakes that instead of being in those like cardboardy boxes are in cans. Well, I took one with me on one day when we were going to go to Sam's Club, and I shook it up and I opened it in the cart and it started exploding like a soda. So I immediately put my hand over it and covered it and kept it on me. But I got soda all over myself in this car. Like my mom had to help me get out of the car because if I touched anything, I'd be covered. So like I had to completely change my clothes. Like it got under my underclothes, it got on everything. And so I finished drinking it because protein drinks are expensive in the house after I had changed. And then when I went to throw the can in recycling, it splashed back on me and got me all covered in it again. And then on top of that, when we got to Sam's Club, we were walking around Sam's Club. And then we were back in the freezer section, which is in the opposite of where the entrance was. And I look over, and there's this little tiny lizard, which they're everywhere here. But this was in the freezer section of Sam's Club. And if you know anything about lizards, they need to be warm to be able to function. And this poor little thing. So I got a box and I kind of carried him outside and went back in and met with Mom. And I was getting really annoyed because she walks down every single aisle. I do not walk down every single aisle. I walk down aisles that are interesting to me. Like I have no need to walk down the paper goods aisles. I have no need to walk down the laundry detergent aisle. She walks down those all the time. And she's like, I get my steps in. I'm like, no. No. And so we did that. And while we were there, Sam's Club lost power. Like, completely lost power. They were trying to get it back up a couple of times, but they just lost it. They weren't kicking anyone out right away. But after like 10 minutes, they're like, we're not getting back up. Our registers are down. Our systems are down. Everybody needs to get out. And so they kind of started kicking all of us out. And I called my mom, like, hey, Mom, you need to come up front. Your phone has the scanner. We can do the scan and go to get the things we picked up. But then we need to leave. And she's like, well, I'm not done walking the store yet. And I was like, Mom, they are kicking us out. We need to go. She's like, but I'm not done yet. And I was like, Mom. And then you can hear this lady behind her. She's like, ma'am, you need to leave. We're closing the store down. Everyone needs to get out. And she's like, oh, but I only have a couple aisles left. Can I just walk those? She's like, you need to leave. And so my mom came out begrudgingly. But it turns out it was not just Sam's Club that had lost its power. It's that whole block. And so as we were leaving, the street lights were out as well. And there were traffic going this way. And you know when your power is out, it's one car, one car, one car, one car. The opposite traffic were not looking where they were going. Luckily, there was not an accident, but there were a lot of close calls because everybody just kind of had to wait, but these other cars just would not stop. It was basically, it wasn't a, we don't see a light, we need to stop. It was, we don't see red, so we are going to go. So that was just bizarre. And then, like, my sleeping here has not been very great because at home, we all know that I have that big, big bed. It's a very fluffy bed and very hard pillows. Here, I have a very hard bed and very fluffy pillows. So it's the opposite of what my body's used to, so I'm having a hard time with that. But it'll be okay. And then yesterday, getting dressed, I forgot. This is for the girls, but, like, we have to put on the straps. I forgot to put the straps on. Then I was wondering why my clothes weren't fitting right. So it's just been kind of a weird situation. It's been a good moment to like stop and reevaluate things, but it's been super weird. But it's been a good trip. I mean, I personally have not been excessively spending money. Like I bought food at Costco from their thing. I bought the stuff at Buc-ee's. I did my scooter rental. I did get $20 back from that, but with how much I spent, it's ridiculous. I bought the game, and then I bought the treats. So, I mean, that's all I've spent so far, and I don't have plans to spend anything else. So, I mean, it's been a good trip. It's been good to like reset. I got out of the house at home, out of that situation, just because 5 grown adults living in one house is far too many grown adults living in one house. And not all of us leave the house as often as we should. So, it's just been kind of an interesting. Love been spending time with the nieces. Um, of course, one has a boyfriend and one is like 16. So like we don't get to spend as much time with them because they have their own lives. But we get to spend more time with them than we do when they were, you know, halfway across the country. So, it's been nice. It's been fun. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have a Thrive video next week just because when I do get back to Arizona, I jump right back into working because my next paycheck is going to be like a half a day pay. So I have to kind of start making up for some bills. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. I know this video is really, really long, especially considering a Thrive video, but I mean, I hope you found it interesting. Bye. I also fully forgot to mention that at the house we're staying at has Netflix, so I've been trying to binge watch all of my shows that are only available on Netflix. So we watched Wednesday, and I watched that one with my mom. We've watched a lot of movies, so expect some reviews on those coming up. But then I watched a Korean show called Tastefully Yours, which was pretty cute. It was cute. Um, and since they're limited series, they only get like 10 to 12 episodes, so they go pretty quickly. And there was not a lot of downtime in that one. So it was cute. It was a good one. And then I'm now watching one called Tastefully Yours, which I can't remember if it was Lovely Budgets or Mumshy Budgets that recommended that one or said they were watching it too. That one's a lot cuter than I thought. It's about time travel, but it's really cute. Um, but that has 12 episodes, and I'm leaving soon, and those episodes are pretty long. Um, so hopefully I can finish them. I have to watch something like 3 to 4 episodes a day, which those episodes are so long that's like 5 hours every day. I don't know if I'm gonna get to that, but hopefully I do. That way I don't leave with a series unfinished. But yeah, I forgot to add that. So yeah, bye.